What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 7 different grayscale trusts today. We're going to talk about ETCG for no areola, LTCN, BCHG for pump progression, G-Link for Dell, GBAT and Mana for raw VM, and then Hanon Levy. You were asking me about what I thought about a strategy about like selling BCHG in December, Marathon in January, and then buying back into BCHG and selling it in April, how that would go. I honestly don't know, man. I realize I got you in that comment, but I might not got you, man. I don't know. It sounds like you have your own strategy already, or your own thoughts as far as what do I think of that strategy. I genuinely don't know. It would take more than I can say in this video to go through all that. That's a lot of probabilities that I don't know if they're calculated or if they're random, but that's not part of my strategy. My strategy, and I'm not holding BCHG or Marathon, so what do I know? But my strategy, if I was, would be to not sell either of them until probably at least April of next year, if not further along the year. That would be my personal strategy. And as far as April goes, I mean, maybe sooner than that, maybe later than that. I don't know. But anyways, it sounds like a decent strategy, but comparing crypto mining stocks to grayscale trusts, I don't know if that makes a good pair. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But anyways, we're going to talk about all the grayscale trusts now, so let's get into it. Hit that like button, subscribe. High to low here on ETCG. I don't even know if that's the proper low to take. Maybe this would be a proper low. Bouncing off your 61869 area. Have a noticeably, discernibly lower low in your RSI than you do in your price. Higher lows throughout this whole thing. It looks like you're in an upward channel. You probably have found your low, ETCG, and I bet you probably start working your way up sooner than later. Now, you could go a little bit lower. You could. But if you haven't found your low, you're very near it. The daily RSI does not merit any significance in that you have found a low, so it is possible again to still go lower. But if you were to go lower, let's just see what you would do. Low to high here, maybe down to 1062, 980 might be the lowest that I would give it, but you're very near. And actually, what I will say, I'm probably going to take back my enthusiasm for you finding the low, because bouncing off your 1272, finding resistance at your 886 like you did, that doesn't normally merit good things. So if you haven't rejected yet, but if you do, likely you will at least go to 1062, the next fib extension down, but potential for 978. This is normally a strong move that would take you to your golden extension, but time will tell. 1062 to 978, that's your potential targets. Hold on, guys. Hold on real quick. All right, everybody, I'm back. Okay, so long story short, yes, I believe 1062 to 980 is on the table. ETCG. LTCN is the next thing. I had a request. See, I'm obliged to all the requests on the Discord, and somebody requested that I don't make BCHG and LTCN videos. So what do I do? Because somebody requested that I do, somebody requested that I don't. I'm letting somebody down one way or another. But anyways, you guys, I'm sure it's just a joke with serious intent, kind of, but not really serious. There seems to be this theory, and I appreciate it. It's very flattering that my videos are why the price is moving down. But that's probably very far from the truth, guys. I'd be surprised. I'd be very surprised if my videos are the reason why price is moving down. And I hear the logic behind it, but I just don't think I have that kind of influence, man. I personally don't think I do. I think the price is just doing standard retracements. There is new money that bought in up here that might be feeling a little bit of fear. There's old money that has been trying to play this, or people that are just DCAing all the way through. Like, price just does what it does. And then it also follows BCH and BCH and LTC, these BCHG LTCN trusts. They follow the cryptos a little bit. They're not technically tethered to them, so they don't have to, but if LTC goes down, LTCN will go down, and LTC has gone down. So I would say that the underlying asset is what really drives the price of this, not my videos. But I do appreciate the flattering comment that I'm that significant. I don't know if it's just a joke or if some people actually mean it, but I do want to say that I do think it's a little preposterous that I don't even own any of this stuff, but my videos are making that much of an impact. Whenever we look at the fibs, and you literally tipped your 2272, broke below your 1618, your next likely target would be at least 2356, and I've been saying this for at least a couple weeks now, that $23 to $21 was the next likely target. You very well could go all the way back down to 1710 or lower, right? None of that's changed, and in fact, you do have weekly bearish divergence, right, that formed back at this weekly top here, which would take you down to about 1575. That's where the divergence formed, was $15.75. So traditionally speaking, off of bearish divergence, you'd be good for that, right? And I mean, the way that I see it, that's more dictating you going down than anything else, and LTC going down. But I must say, for LTCN, I'm not as convinced as I have been that you will see this price. I'm not as convinced as I have been. I am starting to believe that perhaps you do find a low above $20, but the potential to find a low even as low as $16, $15, it's still there. Absolutely, it's still there. So don't get too excited, but you are at at an area where, you know, previous areas of resistance come into play, previous areas of support. It's not a bad time to DCA and get in, even if we are anticipating prices. You're at $27 now. Even if we are anticipating prices that are $11 or more away, I still think it's a good time to get in, probably. Looking at the weekly RSI, overbought, now you're not, breaking out of this uptrend. You probably have got more to go. I doubt that this is going to be over as quickly as this, but it's not going to be like a super long phase of consolidation. But I would expect, you know, if this high to the time that you broke that high was how many weeks? Is that 9 weeks? Is that what it says? Oh, come on. That's not what I was trying to do. Come on, buddy. Where's my circle at? There we go. 9 weeks, yeah. I would assume that it'll take more than that here. So just off of that alone, you know, sometime in June would be your best hopes at finding a new high, moving up to your next level. But likely it could even be July, right? You'll probably find your low in the coming week to 2 weeks. You probably will if you haven't already. But I genuinely do believe $21 to $23, $23.50 is the area that you're going to find your low. But assuming you haven't found your low already, just because you find your low doesn't mean you're pumping up straight, right? You could, as you did last time, well, I guess you didn't really here. You found your low and then you moved sideways. I'm kind of looking for something like this and then a move up, right? So it could be months still. Even if we find our low in the next week to 2 weeks, it could be months, multiple months before we break above this high. Just keep that in mind. But lower we go, I am liking the possibility, the idea of finding a low above $20, specifically $21 to $23 is what I'm thinking. But there is a very, very real and addressable, can't ignore it possibility of going to like $15 to $17. So just keep that on the table. Don't expect that. If you're looking to get in, don't wait. Do what you want to do. I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. Do what you want to do. But my style, I think you're at a good enough area to buy now. There's nothing wrong with DCAing. Put a little bit in here, put a little bit in down there. If it goes back up, you can put a little bit back in or wait for it to go lower. And if it doesn't, if it goes up, just put a little bit back in. However you want to do it, whatever. As long as you're just dollar cost averaging, especially as the price goes down, I think you're going to be doing all right. So even if you buy the high here at $54, you're probably going to do all right by the end of this cycle. Okay, where do you think LTCN is going to go by the end of this cycle? I think at least 2,300. Why do you think that? Well, if I take the all-time high to the all-time low fib, 2,300 is your minimum extension. That's why I think that. So pulling back to your 382 as well off of this, it's not crazy, man. $16 and like 20 cents, 60 cents. It's really not crazy. LTCN, BCHG is next. I hope that answers any questions and doesn't promote any questions, but if it does, that's okay. High to low, just to get this one out of the way, potential target for the all-time high this cycle, 250. Next potential target, 527, 528. And then final potential target, 1541. Could you go higher? Yes. Could you go lower? Yes. But those are the targets that we have. Okay. Moving on from there, BCHG. I really like the weekly RSI a lot. It's very powerful. It could come lower and still be powerful. It could form a lower low than that and still be powerful. So the idea of finding the low, it's possible, but I don't think that we've found it yet. And if we look at the daily, it might be a little bit more telling. We did exactly what I was calling for on Friday and over the weekend, which was opening up this week a little bit higher and then moving down. We've got our lower highs coming in. Yesterday was technically a neutral day, but let's just see how we follow through with the rest of this week. I would anticipate that we continue moving down, and we likely will go below this low. Where will BCH go? It's a target that we've been talking about for a little while now. 822, 714, somewhere in that area. I do think $9 to $8, that area specifically, is very likely, and even just below $8. I personally don't know about 714, but it could happen. Time will tell. And I suppose prices even lower than that could happen as well, but I'm not counting on that. Let's look at that $8 area, $7 to $9 area as a potential area. I suppose 650, maybe even 550 could be your lowest that you could go, but I'm not counting on that. I'm more looking at that $8 area personally. So BCHG, that's that. G-Link. Also looking like it wants to move down. Yes, it is. It's not bad, is it? It's not bad. It doesn't respect its fibs too much. That's not going to help too much. As far as all-time highs for this go, you guys, I don't know. There's not enough data, conclusive evidence to give me a real viable prediction to make. I'm going to guess G-Link moves down to $63. We're at 107 now, so you got a little ways to go. It is possible you could have found your low. I just would like to see this week reverse and not close down like it has, like it is right now. So you have 3 days to rectify that. Daily RSI looks fine to do it too, but it would have to start like tomorrow. 3-hour RSI looks fine as well. So there's hope. There's a little hope, but really you got to hold this purple line. Hold that $95, $96 area. And if not, you're going to go down to about $64, $65. That's G-Link. I think it is going to move down personally, but time will tell. GBAT, Grayscale Basic Attention Token. I didn't even know they had this, but of course they do. Parabolic structure, love to see it. High to low, 227. A lot of these Grayscale, have you noticed like every Grayscale trust I've pulled up has hit their relative 2272? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? I think that's your low. I think you found your low. I don't think you're absolved of going lower from here. You could. You're at $11. You could go below $8 from here, sure. A higher low, but I do think that's your low. Okay. Now let's see. Will you go lower? Is the question, right? I really like that as your low, man. Let's see. I'd love to see the rest of this week for you to close up higher, man. I would love for you to take that high out even and just go higher. Your current high for this week is 1350. I'd love to see you close this week above that. That'd be phenomenal. But you do have a higher low here, lower low there. So I think that is, I think you're destined for great things. GBAT, high to low here, $50. You're at 11.15, $50, $90, 267, all targets. Yeah, dude, it looks really good. You probably move down to about $4. Oh no, I'm sorry, not $4. About $9, $8.50 to $9. You're at 11.15. Move back down to this area, and then up you go. GBAT, looking good. Look, I don't know why we haven't talked about that one more. It actually looks pretty damn good, I'm not going to lie. Mana, and I love BAT. I love Basic Attention Token. I think it's great. Will it do well? That's another question, but I do think it's underrated. High to low here, of which you're potentially finding support right on that high, which is nice. But potentially being the keyword. Yeah, I kind of think Mana has found its low too. At 1526 there, I think it has. It's sitting at 2040 right now. It'd be really nice to find support here and move up for multiple reasons. based on the fib, based on just like resistance points, finding it as support. It'd be really nice to see. But you do have a lower low in your RSI while finding a higher low here, so that's good. That's cool. Hidden bullish divergence. That's why, right? As far as all-time highs go for this thing, I don't know. Don't ask me, because I couldn't give you a valid reason as to why I would predict that. I suppose I could if I wanted to crunch numbers, but I don't want to crunch numbers. I just want to look at charts. I want the numbers to crunch me, man. Shout out to my papa who bought some mana and will not sell me his car. Let's see here. Come on, why are you doing this to me? There we go. Probably goes a little, oh man, it probably does go a little lower. Will it go lower than this? I don't know. Let's just see how the rest of the week goes. I'm not totally convinced yet. It is possible you could go lower than that low. I don't think you will, but it is possible. But let's just see how the rest of the week goes. I'd love to see this week close above $22, and really anything above $27.27 would be phenomenal. So time will tell. Let's see how the rest of the week goes. You might close this week higher from where you are now. You might just continue to move up. So let's just see how it goes. And that's all I got. So if you guys like the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. I realize some of those weren't the most descriptive and what's the word I'm looking for? Direct predictions, but the charts aren't the most direct right now either. There's a little bit of head scratching here and there. We are near, if not already at, pivotal moments for a lot of these charts. So if I'm wrong, I'm only going to be wrong by a little bit is what I would assume, right? Like if we haven't found our low for this chart, for example, we'll go down a little bit. But I kind of think that we do move up the rest of the week, but time will tell. Anyways, enough of that. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.